Audio's fine. Hi, everybody. So all of that didn't make it to the stream. Hello, people watching the live stream. I get all these warnings. I'm like, what are they talking about? And I just not hit go live. So all of that didn't make it to the stream. Hello, people watching. Yeah, we're live now.
Now we're live.
Yeah, everything works out the way it should. So we're very happy about that. The last show of 2020. What a year. What a year. You remember a year ago, though, we were sitting around talking about how shitty 2019 was?
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. Everybody's like, 2019 was terrible. 2020 is going to be great. So I hesitate to get too all up in, this year sucked. Next year will be better. Now, can you hear that? It's my wife crumpling up parchment paper in the background.
Nice.
Yeah, just crumple it as loudly as you'd like.
I told you to wait 5 minutes before you started.
Well, we have a live start to the show. That's how it goes. We start at 7:30. We started without Kareem. There's a reason for that. So we can finish. I'm not
That's
sure
what she said.
Right? Exactly. Oh, speaking of, The Office leaving Netflix on the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to have to adjust their viewing habits. All the people who only have Netflix will be like, what do I watch now? The answer is you subscribe to Peacock and watch it there. Peacock.
Oh man,
we got Peacock.
You guys have Peacock?
Yeah, I mean, there's a free version of Peacock. We sprung for the one without ads. Because we're spoiled that way.
Yeah, I have the app on my Xbox for Peacock. We watched the Psych movie 2 episode, like the second Psych movie, which was pretty awesome. And it was free. It was just absolutely free. You just watch commercials. So that's right. I'm down with it. I'm down with that.
Yeah, it's what your preference is. I mean, if you don't want to pay for it, then you've got to watch commercials. You also don't get everything. So that's the other side of the coin. So you may have to watch commercials, and you may not get all of the content that you want to get. So those are the trade-offs with Peacock. There's a new Discovery app that's launching in early January too, and that is where, Jason, if you're unaware, that is where you can catch up on the entire 90-Day Fiancé universe.
Is on Discovery.
Yeah. Because it's on TLC.
I see.
So it's all of the Discovery networks.
Right.
Yeah. And that is launching, and we will likely be springing for that too.
By the time you're subscribed to all the channel, like all the things, like you're paying for the same amount as cable. And you probably still have cable.
We do. We have stupid DirecTV. But here's the other side of that though. It's not like we go out to movies. Yeah. And you can get, take Netflix out of the equation for a moment. You can get virtually any streaming service for a month. You can get all of them bundled up for what you would pay for two people to go out to have dinner and a movie. So if you look at it that way, it's really a good value for money, especially when people can't really go out. Although I have friends who live in Texas who are like, first time going out to see a movie in a theater in a long time. And I'm like, that seems like a bad idea, but okay. I don't know what your protocols are there. I don't know what safety measures are in place. Maybe the theater is cordoned off and everybody has to wear a mask and everybody is. I almost made it through. Yeah. I almost made it through that. I know that's not the case because every picture I see this person post, no one is wearing a mask.
Yeah.
No one is wearing a mask, and they're all, arms around each other like it's 2018. And it's nuts. And I know California right now is the epicenter of the spread of COVID-19 in the United States. There's still a Trump-Pence 2020 trailer parked next to I-5 if you drive up north to Redding. So
nice.
Just FYI. There's a huge number of that type of individual who's out there. But that's kind of the way it goes. But before we get into the rest of the show, Kareem's going to miss this part. Jason, what would you like to talk about?
Oh man, I'd like to talk about Cyberpunk 2077, but I think I talked about that last week and possibly
you did mention it, yeah.
So instead, I've been following some YouTube personalities that are African American because I wanted to support some views and things of that nature that I don't usually subscribe to, or trying to diversify who and what I'm listening to. So I watched this one guy, Stevie Knight, who does reaction videos to different musicians, rappers, hot takes on other stuff. Anyhow, I've been supporting him, thinking about becoming a Patreon member because it's cool, right? I mean, like it's neat, and it's neat to see the community and stuff like that. Then last week I turned it on, and the dude's in Cabo San Lucas, like on vacation.
You mentioned that last week a little bit,
yeah. But
and like, you're still torn.
I'm still because like it's like, how do I support? Like it just, I don't know. Like, do I continue supporting this dude? Like, do I continue supporting the dude that is definitely like? Do I give him grace and be like, oh, it's not a big deal if he possibly caught COVID and spread it around to people unknowingly by traveling? I don't know, man. Like, what would you do? Would you continue following the guy? Would you continue listening to what he has to say? Or would you try to find somebody else to possibly support?
Well, I mean, first of all, do you really like his content?
I do like his content. Do you
really, really like his content?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I like his hot takes on stuff.
And I get where you're going with the other side. I mean, if you're that conflicted, then follow him and consume his content, but don't give him Patreon money.
Yeah.
If you think his content is worth paying for, don't look at it as that. Just go, look, I'm giving money for whatever.
Yeah.
You know? I wouldn't get too twisted up in it, because you're not. The problem is you can't change everything, and we get so caught up in this is part, I think, of cancel culture, and why cancel culture, as much as I hate when conservatives get all bent about that phrasing, I do think it is a problem, and people are allowed to have divergent viewpoints and go, this isn't a problem, this is a problem. And we have the right to support or not support them. And as strongly as you feel about it, I can't imagine you going, and you've already, 2 weeks in a row said, I'm really conflicted about this. Stop being conflicted. Don't give him money. I've solved your problem. Don't give him money. Consume his content if you like it. Don't give him money, and don't amplify him.
Yeah.
Be like the 97% of people that listen to or consume anything. Do it quietly. Don't tell anybody about it, and just enjoy it. Kareem, what do you think? You just joined us. Welcome.
Hey, I agree with you. You can consume his content and not give him money, and just call it a day.
Yeah, I think that's the best solution, because then you're not conflicted about it. I mean, you know what? If you want to listen to Billie Jean, go ahead and listen to Billie Jean, no matter what Michael Jackson did. If you want to enjoy the Cosby Show, go enjoy the Cosby Show. Go do that. That's fine. No one is going to be harmed if you watch the Cosby Show or you listen to a Michael Jackson album or anything like that. So, Kareem, what would you like to talk about? That's where we are in the show.
You said we have a lot of listeners in India.
We do. So our podcasting host is Captivate.fm. They're based in the UK. And about 2 months ago, they gave us the option to publish our podcast, and it's everybody who uses Captivate, to these directories that serve specifically in India. And I went, you know what the hell? Let's see what happens with that. And we have had, and again, we've only heard from I've only heard from a couple of people, and it's only because I made the Facebook post in the Captivate Facebook group talking about how we suddenly have all these listeners in India. And other people were chiming in and saying, yeah, we've noticed that too. That's crazy. What's going on? What's going on with all that? We're just starting to have that. And we had a couple of people reach out from India who are listening. You got a lot of people who are learning to speak English, or it's their second language. They are now in a place where they can listen to podcasts. It's available to them. And thankfully they seem to like what we do, which is great. And, have them along. So, why do you bring up India? Are you thinking of going?
Actually, I had an opportunity to go probably about 10 years ago.
Right.
One of my friends does paragliding, and she goes over there all the time.
Right.
And she was trying to talk me into coming over. We discussed me coming over to teach massage to street kids over there, because to give them a tool that they could use to make money, that besides stealing and prostitution and
right.
whatever, and panhandling or whatever, so we had discussed that then, but that's not why I was asking the question. I would like to hear from my Indian listeners, because I have a question, because this is something that I've noticed in my part-time work. Do Indian people consider the garage like an extra room? That's my question.
Now, do you mean Indian people in India or Indian people here?
Indian people here or there.
Okay.
Or, if they have,
there may be a huge difference.
Yeah. But I'm saying, if you have relatives here, it's a question. Because I have seen a lot of Indian people that use the garage as a bedroom, a kitchen, just another room. Their cars are like not in the garage. So I'm curious. And that's where the question is coming from. It's not coming from anything having to do with racism, whatever. It's a curiosity at this point. So if anyone who's listening in India can answer this question or help us out, please do so.
Yeah, you can hit us up on the WTH podcast Facebook group. I'll put Kareem's Twitter handle in the description of the show today, so you can reach out to Kareem on Twitter. You can reach out to Jason too, but he won't see it because he's only a Twitter peeker, and he doesn't actually play along.
Well, it's funny. I haven't. I don't think I've signed up for it yet on my new phone. So that's probably why I haven't logged out. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I'm a definitely a lurker.
Yeah, you're not an active Twitter user where you are posting things on Twitter. You're having conversations back and forth.
Yeah,
like Kareem and I are sharing stuff back and forth on Twitter all the time, and you're part of the group, but you almost never even hit the heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like for the last, like I said, like last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I had a new phone, so that's definitely the primary reason there.
And did you finally get an iPhone?
No, I got a Note 20.
I got a note for you. Get an iPhone.
This one's dope. It's awesome.
I'm sure it is. I want to talk a little bit about Twitter, specifically the band Eve 6. You recall Eve 6 from the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I actually saw them live. Who were they opening for? I think they were opening. Yeah, they were opening for Bon Jovi in Montreal. Is where I saw them. So they are on a reunion tour, or they did a reunion tour, and now they are turning to being self-deprecating and funny on Twitter, kind of like Wendy's is or Arby's is, where they don't take themselves too seriously. The singer Max Collins has clowned his own band relentlessly with observations such as Eve 6 is in heavy rotation at Home Depot. And if Downton Abbey is a metaphor for alternative rock, Eve 6 is downstairs.
Wow.
He has asked celebs ranging from Eric Trump to Vincent D'Onofrio to Marilyn Manson to Kamala Harris. Do you like the Heart in a Blender song? I do. I love that song. So it's interesting. He's taking credit for inspiring Killers and Panic at the Disco. And here's one of the gems that he has dropped. I was literally a virgin when I wrote the Heart in a Blender song. And then he added, I've had sex since. So if you if you're wondering, in fact, yes, it was a virgin who was talking about a heart in a blender. Watch it spin around to a beautiful oblivion. Yes, I know the lyrics. I saw them live.
Well, then listen, I would just rendezvous and I'm through with you.
Yeah. Says the virgin. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, at this point, so it's weird because I'm now at an age where this is a band that I was a full grown man. I saw them, I go, oh, these kids are kind of cool. And now they are 20 years in the rearview mirror from, what the height of what they had. And it's just weird. The passage of time is really, really fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say.
It is nuts, though, isn't it?
It's insanity. It's insanity.
It's funny. Like, since we're talking about time, I just want to take if we can just take a small moment here.
Sure.
I'm doing a project right now for the Comedy Spot where I'm going to be asking a bunch of old performers and students and stuff like that to talk about their favorite memories and stuff for a January 18th show coming up. Anyhow, I was mining emails and I found one from you.
Oh,
from February 7th, 2008.
Wow. Wow. Jason was a big deal to me then. Because I was super new.
And the email was, it's the wine talking. And this is a sketch you wrote.
Oh boy. I'm sure it's delightful.
The title of this sketch, I don't think it was complete. I think this is just like we were getting ready. This was let's see where it goes. Sure. But the title of it, Sex Toys.
That explains a lot.
And it's like Giant Butt Plug is, I guess, the first character.
Oh, yeah. I remember this a little bit. I remember Brian hated it.
So Giant Butt Plug says, sometimes I feel like I'm never going home with anyone. Small butt plug. Well, you are rather frightening. Most people are afraid of a giant butt plug. Fake fist. Yeah, try being a fake fist. People just look at me and say, who the hell uses that? Giant butt plug. You are a freak. Fake fist. Oh, how I wish I was a vibrator. Or even a small butt plug like you. Small butt plug. Yeah, I wish I was a vibrator too. Now that's the life. Vibrator. Shut the hell up. All you butt plugs and fake fists do is sit there. Fake fist. Why are you so angry? Vibrator. You think it's easy being a vibrator? Giant butt plug. Yeah, small butt plug. How hard can it be? Fake fist. You bring pleasure to the ladies. I'm nothing but a joke. Scene.
That is quality stuff. I stand behind it. I stand behind the goodness of that.
I came across so many old emails and I was responding to them and replying to them. Aaron sent me one 2000 and 2009 about H1N1, about like how we all need to be careful about this thing and like it was really going to be bad. Just funny, the way like so time, man. Sure. Time. I was down the hole today, bro.
Clearly, it's work from home, Jason. Work from home, Jason. Let's get into the show a little bit now that we've passed some time. So there was an explosion in Nashville on Christmas morning. Have they started referring to this dude as a suicide bomber yet? I have not been watching the news today.
I did not watch the news today, but the question has been on Twitter all weekend, and I haven't seen a response. I bet a response that said that he has been.
Well, it was only yesterday that we determined that, in fact, because they had found some genetic or biological material, and they weren't sure if it was the person who drove the RV into downtown Nashville, if it was someone who happened to be caught in the area, or what it was. And they've since determined that it was the guy, 62-year-old dude, who law enforcement had no idea about. So it wasn't somebody who was on their radar, anything like that. Here's what it sounded like in downtown Nashville on Christmas morning.
This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now.
And that was the explosion.
So they said he had some obsession with 5G, and the conspiracy theories about how it was. One of the conspiracy theories was that COVID wasn't a thing; that it was 5G. The effects of the 5G, that 5G was going to make it so that the government could surveil everything that you do. So he was down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's some QAnon shit. It's just like the guy that ran the.
Jason, you're muted.
Did he mute himself?
He did, because I can't unmute him. His mic's not connected. Your microphone is not connected, and he's gone.
He froze.
Well, he never froze. I could still see him moving. But I saw it go, oh, it's muted. And I'm like, okay, let me see if I can unmute him. And no, I can't, because he had muted himself. Things weirdly happen that way. So I don't know if media has been referring to him as a suicide bomber. I do know that if he were a Muslim guy, that would have been the first thing they referred to him as, was a suicide bomber. Welcome back, Jason. And so it's really interesting. Now, yes, he's a bomber, and yes, he committed suicide, but does the recording that was playing warning people to leave the area, that ended up the cops in Nashville got a bunch of people out and away so that no one else was killed in the explosion, I don't know that makes it any better. I mean, it does, because other people could have been killed, but he's still a suicide bomber.
Yeah, I mean, his point was, it seems that it was a 5G and he was trying to get at AT&T. That's what I've been able to deduce so far from what we've read. But I haven't been able to look at anything new today, so I can't, I don't know if there's been any updates since then. But I mean, he was a suicide bomber. Because what happens if the police don't get that call, and if they don't get all the people out of it?
Right. If people just don't answer the door.
Yeah.
I mean, it's thankfully he was the only person who was killed. But yeah, absolutely a suicide bomber. Whether his intention was to take other people out with him or not, he is a suicide bomber. And there's been this reluctance to label specifically white, domestic, violent people as terrorists, or to say that, yeah, they're a suicide bomber, when if it were someone else who had darker skin or emanated from a foreign land, that would be the very first thing that would be reported.
They're always looking for an excuse for him.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, what motivated this? What's going on with this? And it's like, I don't know. How about we just condemn the act to begin with, and then we can go back and say, oh, let's figure out the motive behind this.
Yeah.
in case there are other people who might have the same motive, how do we reach them before they get to the point where they are blowing up or trying to blow up a city center?
Well, there are a lot of reports out about the radicalization of young white men white men online.
Sure.
And it's been likened to what's going on in the Middle East and in Europe with the ISIS. But, again, white people think they're better than everybody else, so they don't take it to heart or actually they don't think that they can be fooled. So and the Trump supporters are, you can't get any more than you can't fool me. Everybody else is a fool.
Right.
So they're not, people aren't taking it to heart, but it's happening like all over the place.
Yeah. Jason keeps popping in and out. And if anybody wondering why he's not chiming in on this, he's here, he's gone, he's here. If you're watching, you can see it, but
yeah, he probably should restart his computer.
Yeah. Jason, if you're listening, restart your computer or your wife's computer. It's his wife's computer.
Yeah.
This is why you wouldn't get an iPhone. The wife's computer is a Macintosh. So that's why he's got some weird thing about Macs. I never thought I would say this, Kareem, but God bless the lawyers. God bless the lawyers. Because the lawyers for Dominion voting systems have sent 21 retraction or record preservation demand letters. The individuals that they send them to include, but are not limited to, Fox Business's Lou Dobbs, who has walked back one of his conspiracy theories live on the air, attorney and insane person Lynn Wood, Fox News' Sean Hannity, radio host Rush Limbaugh, Giuliani witnesses Melissa Carone, Josh Merritt, Joseph Altman, Russell Ramsland, Rudy Giuliani, Newsmax's Greg Kelly, and Fox's Maria Bartiromo. The entities include Fox News, One America News, Newsmax, the Epoch Times, and the Executive Office of the President. So here's one of the highlights in the stack of letters, and we could read through all of them, but we're going to keep the show to an hour and a half tonight. Here's one of the highlights. Instead of retracting the false statements about Dominion as detailed in our last letter, Newsmax instead decided to double down on its libel while simultaneously claiming to clarify its news coverage. Dominion counsel on the non-retraction. We are disappointed that Newsmax continues to publish lies about U.S. Dominion Inc. despite our December 18th retraction demand. Instead of retracting the false statements about Dominion as detailed in our last letter, Newsmax instead decided to double down on libel while simultaneously claiming to clarify news coverage. The clarification acknowledges what Newsmax has long known to be true. No evidence has been offered that Dominion or Smartmatic used software or reprogrammed software that manipulated votes in the 2020 election. There's going to be some lawsuits.
I can't wait for the discovery on these.
Oh, yes. Especially the Executive Office of the President.
How many people are going to say that they're entertainers and not reporters? What you got for the over/under?
I mean, that's been the line. I mean, that's what Alex Jones has said. There was the court ruling saying that no one considers Tucker Carlson to be news, that no one can take him seriously in a news situation. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a lot of that, and they're very right, because I'm curious how this is going to go, because they're suing the Executive Office of the President. That's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Now, when we hit January 20th and he's no longer president of the United States and he loses all of those shields, how's that going to look? I mean, they won't be the first people to sue Donald Trump, but they may be ones who have more money than he does, because that's been his tactic. Is just he just hangs on and holds out because he's already paying these retainers, and people just get exhausted. They run out of funds. They can't afford to keep up with that.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see the internal memos from the White House.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
On these conversations.
1,000% on that
so
one.
Between them and then the Republican, the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't wait to see that stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to hear it all play out. I mean, we don't need Law and Order on TV anymore. We've got this and whatever's going to happen in New York State with Trump and all of those suits. Plus, I mean, he's trying to pardon everyone he knows.
Yeah.
I've heard a variety of things. Everything from they have a spreadsheet with hundreds of names on it to he has offered to pardon people who are torn because they don't feel like they've done it. They haven't committed any crimes, but they're like, well, he seems to be, trying to help out here, but I haven't done anything I'd need to be pardoned for. The other side of that is once you've been pardoned for something, then you can't invoke the Fifth Amendment about self-incrimination because you've been pardoned. So once you've been pardoned, that's all there is.
That's why the Texas Attorney General brought that ridiculous ass lawsuit was because he's looking for a pardon which lets you know that he really did what they're saying he did.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're breathing down his neck, and he knows they have him.
Yeah. So the fact that you would bring that you would put yourself out there with that ridiculous lawsuit lets you know that he did everything.
Yeah. What blows my mind though, Kareem, is 17 other states' attorneys general joined in the suit. It's like, what are you doing? They should all
be investigated. All of them should be investigated.
It's insanity. It's insanity. So Donald Trump became famous for, among other things, his book, The Art of the Deal, which he did not, in fact, write. It was a different gentleman who wrote Art of the Deal. And as we found out from this gentleman and then later from Mary Trump, Donald Trump does very little participation in his own book writing. Despite the fact that he has authored many books, he has participated very little in the writing of them. So the author of The Art of the Deal sat down, and this is 4 years old now, in 2016, talking about how Donald Trump would react to losing the election. Now, in 2016, he happened to win despite getting fewer actual votes. But the behavior described here in 2016 seems pretty dead on, considering what's been going on lately.
Much more mentally healthy candidates for president than him have gone through extended periods of depression following their losses. It's a huge public loss and humiliation. But Trump is not available to depression. He just won't go there, I don't think. So instead, he'll go to anger. And he will drum up that anger that's sitting inside his supporters in any way he can to provide evidence that he was wrong, the election was rigged, and he didn't really lose. Trust me when I say this. When Trump loses the election, he will never acknowledge, he will not concede the election, and he will never acknowledge that he lost the election. Because to do that is to feel obliterated, and he's not going there. So it's going to be a dangerous, tense time in America in the weeks after the election.
Yeah, that's all come out pretty accurate.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And I told you guys when he got elected, the Republicans thought that they were going to be able to control him.
Right.
They thought they were going to be able to get him to do what they wanted him to do, and then that they would be able to rein him in. Nope. Me and one of my best friends from when I was a kid, we were talking the other night, and we were talking about our cousin Von Derek, and he has a good heart, but he's always into something, and you can hang out with him, but so long before he does something. And it doesn't matter what you do or how you try to schmooze him or whatever, it's going to happen. Trump is that dude. And when I said it to Troy, I was like, that's like having Von Derek as president. And he was like, damn it, you're right. Like, it doesn't matter. That dude is going to do something. And it's going to be something destructive no matter what you do to try to keep him straight.
He's exhausting. He is in fact a toddler in a lot of ways, in which it doesn't matter. It's like one thing to the next, 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 to the point where it's just like, just stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah.
Except he's a 74-year-old man with a bunch of enablers who's never been held accountable for anything. We try and hold the toddler accountable for things.
Yeah.
Because we don't want one of those. But anyway, let's turn now to some silly shit, Kareem. I think we've earned that. I was on Facebook earlier and just letting some Facebook videos play, and I came across this Facebook page called Ownage Pranks, and the subheading on this is Psycho Christian Lady Real Phone Call.
Okay.
So let's take a listen to this.
This guy's from Nazareth. Thank you for calling. How may I help you?
Yeah, hi. I saw your advertisement on Craigslist about the fair you have coming up for Valentine's Day.
What are you selling?
How does that work exactly? Like, do you guys take a percentage of anything, or is just anybody can come in there, or how does it work?
What are you selling?
Well, I'm an independent vendor for KY, and I was hoping to just kind of like have a booth there. Hello? She hung up right after that. Like that. Holy.
Calls back.
This call's being recorded by County Police. I just want you to know that.
Okay, that's fine.
Before you say anything to me, it's being recorded by County Police.
Okay.
Before you say anything to me.
Okay.
And if you continue to call here, you will be arrested. That I can promise you.
Excuse me, what happened? I called you one time to ask about your fare, and you're getting all mode on me. Like, what's happening? Hello? Definitely called her back.
Thank you for calling. How may I help you?
Hey, what it do, Mama? So I saw your advertisement about the annual Valentine's Day gift fair spectacular.
Okay, so now, and they've animated these. So now he's calling back, and he is trying to add Jason back in here, and now he is doing a quote unquote black guy voice. Same dude, prank calling the Christian lady.
Yes. What can I do? Yes.
Yeah, I was hoping to be a vendor for your upcoming,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you sell?
I actually recently got into some plastic engineering technologies, and we have engineered some new age, basically female pleasure devices, aka dildos, and we have a wide array of different sizes and flavors and colors and shapes.
But can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I have to say right now, as a Christian woman of God, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ from Nazareth for ever calling me with that.
What?
I am a born-again Christian believer, and everything that you're doing right now is for the devil.
Why is that for the devil?
You're working for Satan,
Okay.
because you're not selling things that are glorifying God's name.
Okay, so
And one day you will stand before God. When you leave the planet, you will stand before the Lord, and you will be accountable for every sin.
Oh, yes. Preach it. Anyways, I can give you one for free because you sound like you really need it.
I really don't. I have the Lord, honey. When you have the Lord, you have everything.
No,
the Holy Spirit is the giver of life.
But you don't got dark meat, girl. Hello? What the?
That amused me no end.
Wow.
The next one is entitled, I'm not playing this one because it's kind of racist. And by I say kind of, I mean really racist. It's entitled Angry Asian Restaurant Real Phone Call. And I am not playing that. Nagade. That's Ownage Pranks, by the way. They're on YouTube as well as on Facebook.
I made the mistake of letting that play through, and I was like, oh.
I didn't let it go all the way because I saw where it was going, and I go, this isn't going anywhere good, and I have other things to do. So that's that was where my brain went to. I'm like, yeah, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Anyway, for more silly shit, we bring you now to the son of someone very famous who has a Christmas message for all of us as he is standing there with his significant other. Well, let's take a listen.
What's going on, guys? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Don and Kimberly here. I think we wanted to just take a little time to wish you guys.
By the way, that's Donald Trump Jr. and his significant other, Kimberly Guilfoyle, who is formerly Mrs. Gavin Newsom, if you're wondering. They are standing there. There's a really weird looking tree behind them. Here's their holiday message for you.
All an incredible holiday, an incredible Christmas. Want to be thankful for all our blessings.
All blessings.
Just being Americans and living in this incredible country.
For all your love and support.
I want to thank all the great, servicemen and women of our armed services who don't get to spend their Christmas with their families.
And our veterans.
Our veterans, everyone. So
law enforcement, first responders.
That's right.
Yes.
And I'm reasonably thankful for Kimberly. Maybe not so much. I mean,
abundantly.
I don't want to, I've managed to maintain a very low bar with Kimberly, so I don't want her to get, I don't know, too big an ego, accustomed to kindness. I want to keep her tough. I want to keep her tough. Although I don't think we have anything to worry about with that. Kimberly is probably the toughest, but
what the fuck?
Wow.
So Merry Christmas. She needs to watch, and I don't normally recommend this, but she needs to watch some Jim Baker and some Pat Robertson and really understand the role of the backup hype lady and how to pipe in on a video without stepping on stuff, because she was stepping on his stuff and you could see him getting irritated. And he's like, well, the camera's rolling. I can't really turn around and yell at her like I normally would, allegedly. So I'm going to say something clever. And I listened to the Michael Cohen podcast. Apparently Don Jr. is easily the cleverest of the Trump children. He's the smartest one of the bunch, just FYI. But wow.
I could just see him like yelling at the director, like whoever's holding the camera. Like, I guess was this a selfie?
Yeah, it's a selfie.
The
He's the one holding the camera.
It's a selfie. So I can imagine him getting like, I can see him being the guy that would yell at the director instead of talking to his wife about stepping on his lines. Like, hey, Kimberly keeps stepping on my lines. Can you do something right? Can you say something to her? She keeps stepping on my lines. I'm right here, Don. Can you tell her?
Yeah, he's literally holding the phone out with his hand.
Okay.
So, she's like over his shoulder, chiming in very, very poorly.
She was trying to make sure he didn't say anything stupid.
He got close.
Well, he's talking about the service members, and she's like, and our veterans. It's like, how about you just settle down there? How about you just settle down? We've mentioned Parler on the show, and I've not been on Parler. I follow an account on Twitter called Parler Takes, where someone goes on Parler, so you don't have to. Well, Trey Crowder, who is the liberal redneck, has a really good breakdown of what Parler really is. And I thought it would be very valuable to bring Trey Crowder into the show so that you can hear what Parler is really all about.
Y'all, listen, I unfortunately have some truly terrible news. I'm sure many of you have heard already, or for those of you who have not, I don't know if I can get through this. Right now, all across America, shitty uncles and regrettable ex-girlfriends are leaving Facebook in droves. It's true. I don't know how we're going to do this. I mean, we all know Facebook can be upsetting in the best of times, and now the rest of us, are somehow expected to get by without the constant input of people who are racist against math and black people and Muslims and gays and stuff, but lately math. What are we going to do? If you don't know what I'm talking about, first of all, congratulations on knowing people whose brains work. But what's happening is conservatives all across the country are leaving Facebook and Twitter by the thousands and running to Parler, which is basically Twitter, but with the N word. Why are they doing this besides the N-word thing? Well, they were getting upset. They'd had enough of liberals treating traditional social media platforms as their own personal safe spaces, becoming offended and getting their post removed simply because they were untrue or taking Hitler's side or literally threatening murder. Meanwhile, somehow liberal posts are almost never tagged as misleading. How does that make any sense? Besides blatantly obvious. So they've done the only courageous and patriotic thing left for them to do, ran away while complaining to a place liberals can't be mean to them. A new space just for them, a space where they can feel safe and not have to worry about things like reality making their poop time bad. And so they're leaving us, guys. Just imagine it. Now you'll be able to post a selfie while wearing a mask without having the guy who cheated off you in high school tell you to do some research and call you a queer. I hope you can find a way to. If you don't know anything about Parler, everything about it is hilarious. It was originally pronounced parlay, the French pronunciation. But when the scholars who they purposefully market themselves to refused to do that, it was changed to Parler, which is, of course, the freedom pronunciation. Also, its three biggest user bases are Trump supporters, conspiracy theorists, and Saudi nationalists. One step closer to Saudi Arabia, y'all. It's such beautiful self-parody. It is. These people think they're the only true Americans left, and their closest allies are Confederates, Nazis, Russians, and the 9/11 guys. Rachel fucking Dolezal has more self-awareness. In all honesty, part of me is kind of sad about this, though. I'm not joking. Because you think about it, if all these people had already left Facebook and Twitter months ago, then the rest of us would have missed out on some sweet, sweet, impotent rage last week, man. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves here. If all of our worst relatives were already gone from social media, would we have derived quite as much pleasure from Trump getting dog walked, crying about it, and then going out while golfing and planning a conference at the Hyatt Noon Head Shop and Dildo Emporium or whatever the fuck that was? Okay, we probably would have. No, we totally would have. It's all just too good, man. God, I don't know. Maybe there is a God and he thinks they suck too. How sweet would that be? Oh. But I still think it all hits a little different whenever Aunt Tammy gets internet mad in front of you about it, is all I'm saying. Maybe it's just me. All of which leads me to my final point. Yes, I'm having some fun with this. You know why? Because fuck bridging the gap. No, after living my whole life as a liberal from the deep South, you can miss me with that bridging the gap nonsense. These are the same people that would burn down the actual gap with us inside of it over a t-shirt with a picture of RBG's face on it. Fuck them. All they care about is schadenfreude based on our pain, and they would say that outright if they knew what schadenfreude meant. And maybe we should try and be better than that or whatever eventually, I guess. But for now, I'm going to take this victory lap. And if they can't handle it, let them go on to Parler. Them and all the other terrorists can keep making each other feel better with pandering bullshitteries. We will be here in the real world where they lost, trying to move forward while also popping bottles for a little while. See y'all next time.
Trey Crowder, the liberal redneck. In case you were wondering what Parler is.
Oh, man.
That cleared it up for you, Jason?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, we talked a little bit about COVID at the head of the show, and we mentioned that it is a real problem here in California. And I give you why in California, where you have all the liberals and all the enlightened people who wear masks that you eat through and are behaving well. Why are those? Oh, yeah, because there's these people. This is from LA.
On forever. You guys, it doesn't occur to anyone that this doesn't make any sense. That healthy people should be treated like they're sick.
I get that, but obviously it doesn't work. But we're just following rules. Why can't you follow rules?
Because why would I follow a nonsensical rule? Why would I be treated
That's
like
your
a
own
sick
opinion.
person?
We're following state.
No, it's not an opinion.
It is an opinion.
It's not an opinion.
You're entitled to your own opinion.
I'm also entitled to service, and you can't refuse me if I say I have a health condition. If I have a health condition, no, you can't. You need to review
Everybody,
I will report you.
Go ahead.
I will
I told
report
you my name. I am a supervisor here at the CVS location. Anything else?
So you are breaking the law here, not me.
I'm not
You
breaking
can't
the law.
refuse service
Yes, I
based on a
can.
health
We can
condition.
refuse
No, you can't.
service for any
No,
of
you
you that
cannot.
I feel.
Okay. I love that one. I'm perfectly healthy. Why are you discriminating against people who are perfectly healthy? I can't wear a mask because I have a health issue. So you have to serve me.
You are not entitled to service.
No. And we saw this earlier on. We saw this in the spring where some woman went all ape shit on a supermarket in Southern California where a manager came out and said, hey, if you want to come in, you have to wear a mask. And she's like, well, I have a health condition. And he said, well, if you want to come in, you have to wear a mask. Well, you can't deny me, blah, 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 because I have a health condition. And he said, well, if you would like, we would be happy to assist you by picking up whatever you would like and then bringing it out of the store, and you can then pay for it. And that doesn't solve the issue, because their issue isn't that they're not getting service. Their issue is that they want to make a fucking scene. That is their issue. And they're everywhere. This, by the way, Kareem, will shock you. It's a tall white lady.
I was biting my tongue about white women. I was waiting that till the next segment.
Good, guten Tag, because we have that right here. So Arlo Hotels in New York City.
Literally didn't get it back.
Are you kidding me? Let me pause that. Had an incident where a white lady thought that a black guy had stolen her iPhone because he had an iPhone. Newsflash, a lot of black people have iPhones that are theirs.
Yeah. I have one.
Oh, I mean, there you go. Exhibit A, Kareem, black guy with iPhone. This is how it played out.
Show me, no.
You don't have to explain nothing to her.
Take the case off, that's mine. Literally didn't get it back.
Are you kidding me? You feel like there's only one iPhone made in the world?
No, okay, then show me the. Show me on my.
You get a life
over there. No, what's on your background?
You better go use find my iPhone. Go do that.
Find my iPhone is on that. Right?
No, you can't. No.
I'm the manager of the hotel.
I don't care.
He will
this
right
is
now.
my son. Hey, didn't you see me just come downstairs out of the fucking elevator?
I'm trying to help.
No, but you're not helping.
I am.
What you're being is disrespectful.
No, I'm trying to settle this situation.
My son has nothing to do with her.
No.
I'm trying to figure out
we're
what's
ready to
going
have
on
my
in the
phone.
lobby.
Then show me the proof. No, he's not leaving. Show me the proof.
Are you
Show me the
serious?
proof.
You better get on.
I need you away.
Let's go, kid.
I'm sorry.
Better get on. We have your, what you see two black people.
No, I'm not letting him walk away with my phone.
Better get on somewhere,
No, please
lady.
get my phone back. I cannot not have my phone.
Listen, get your ass.
Okay. Aside from the sadness of I can't live without my phone, let's delve into this a little bit. Kareem, you saw this video before I did. What's your take?
So, as a 14-year-old kid, him and his dad are coming downstairs to have breakfast at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And she tackles the kid to try to take it and goes through his pockets.
Yeah, and then tells them they're not going to leave, which is false imprisonment.
So
technically,
take off the cover so you'll see that it's my phone. You can't see if it's your fucking phone if you take off the cover. How long did you think he had the phone for him to get a cover for your phone?
Right? He's wandering around with a phone cover. Come on.
Give me a fucking break. And this is the deal. I've said this about white women before. Like, white women are the most protected people on the fucking planet. White women go to places that locals don't go to because they think that nobody will fuck with them.
Why did you do that, Karen?
And this is another example of her just thinking that she could do what the fuck she wanted to, and there would be no consequences for her. And I'm so proud the dad stood up for his kid and was like, "No, you're not doing that. We're not jumping through these hoops for you because we don't owe you that, and we don't owe you that. You lost your fucking phone. That's your fucking problem."
Well, and the manager coming over saying, I'm trying to solve the problem.
No, she's playing the fucking victim, and she's using you to be her white knight. And she's about to get you to get your ass whooped. That's what she's about to do. Or fired.
Yeah, I mean, it puts the manager in a really difficult situation because what do? Do you throw? She's not a guest.
No.
You go, you're not a guest in this hotel. I'm going to ask you to leave. She's then going to call the cops, who are then going to show up, and it's going to be a whole thing. So as the manager of the hotel, he's trying to make this be as small an issue as it possibly can be. And so in his mind, he's just like, just show her the wallpaper on the phone so that she can see it's not her phone. And I get it. We reached this point sometime last year in 2019, early 2020, maybe, where, and you said it on the show, and I've heard it said in many other places, as African Americans, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done appeasing you just to appease you because it's bullshit and we're tired of it. And
the hotel did apologize. So I'll give, the upper management of the hotel did apologize. So I give them credit for that. But like somebody else said, they need to do this, what Starbucks did, which is close down their shit and have training, and not training where, on how to make white people feel better. Training on being like, no, you're being unreasonable. We're not fucking dealing with you.
Right.
The hotel security got involved, and the police finally did show up. So, and I think I did see maybe that the Manhattan District Attorney is going to file charges against her.
And that's so she lost her phone somewhere. Clearly, she lost her phone somewhere.
It was in the Uber.
So she lost it in the Uber.
Yep.
Uber driver. Yeah. Uber driver returned the phone shortly after this.
Yeah.
No apology to anybody.
Yeah.
So, unlike the guy in Central Park who decided to let that bitch off the hook, I hope this guy. I hope he does what the one case I actually sat through did, and he presses the district attorney and the police to make sure that charges are filed against this woman, and that she is made an example of.
The difference between the Central Park thing and this is you got a dad protecting his 14-year-old son.
Yeah.
In Central Park, you had a grown man saying, "Look, this was stupid. This is ridiculous. I just want to be done with it."
Yeah.
No. You got a dad who's clearly standing up for his 14-year-old son, as he should, as any father would in that situation. You might want to put in a call and get them in your into your project, Kareem.
Yeah. Because now you're gonna have to. He's gonna have to. Now that kid's scarred.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a 14-year-old kid who's been just minding his own business, has some crazy lady screaming at him, tackling him, accusing him of stealing her phone. I mean, it's not okay.
So just imagine if I did that to some little white girl anywhere.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Absolutely. That's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. But we will follow that case. Kareem will follow the case, and we'll be talking about it on the show as we find out more things that come along with that. Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, a man there was charged with narcotics distribution, but he claimed to police that he did not, in fact, sell methamphetamine, but instead gave it away for free to those who came to his storage unit and asked for it. His name is Mark Hiles. He's 56. He was arrested for allegedly selling drugs from a storage unit several blocks from his home in Altoona. He's free on $50,000 bond, faces a pair of felony drug charges and 3 misdemeanor counts. Now, according to police, Hiles and Tyler Bartley, who's 25, were collared after investigators found them inside Hiles' storage unit, which appeared to be used as a residence. That's not sketchy. During questioning, Bartley reportedly admitted that he worked as a middleman setting up drug transactions between Hiles and street buyers. Bartley told cops that he would exchange money for drugs at Hiles' storage unit, adding that a large amount of methamphetamine was to be in the storage unit. And when police searched Hiles, they recovered baggies containing meth and bath salts, marijuana, and 3 glass pipes with residue. In his post-arrest interview, Hiles was asked about the foot traffic to and from his storage unit. He explained that his friends stopped by to see him because they know he has methamphetamine.
What storage? Wait. I have a storage unit.
Do you have meth?
How the fuck do you get into the storage unit? How are there people going back and forth to the storage unit to see him? Because you have to have a code to get in and to get out. You have to put it in going and coming.
Well, his friends apparently have the code. Or in Pennsylvania, they're not as stingy about that sort of thing. In case you're wondering, he has a rap sheet that includes multiple drug convictions. He served several years in state prison. He told cops that he's currently unemployed and on disability with a monthly income of around $1,300. So how is he getting that much meth to give away?
That is a good question.
That is the real question. It's like, okay, you're getting by on $1,300 a month. That sucks. How are you giving out meth for free to all your friends?
Yeah.
Type of friends I love.
It's true. It's true. Meanwhile, when a Louisiana cop, and it's another white woman story, Kareem, so get ready. When a Louisiana cop informed her that she was under arrest for driving with a suspended license and probation violation warrant, motorist Renee Whidden would have none of the patrolman's Scrooge-like attitude. She said, "No, it's Christmas," and turned away from Deputy Timothy Fisher and began to run from her vehicle, which was pulled over on a street around 4:35 a.m. Her getaway, though, was brief. She made a very short distance before she ran into a parking lot sign and fell to the ground.
Wow.
Ho, ho, ho. The 34-year-old was then handcuffed and transported to jail, where she was booked on several charges, including methamphetamine possession and resisting an officer. Bond had not been set for her, so she had to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas behind bars. According to court records, she was arrested in late October for possession of meth, cocaine, Suboxone, possession of drug paraphernalia, and illegal possession of a firearm. Those charges are pending. No, it's Christmas.
Wow. Is there a video of her running into the sign? That's what I want to know.
Sadly, I have not seen any, so I don't know if there's body cam video of that somewhere, but would that not be just delicious? Just absolutely delicious. All right. So we've come pretty much to the end of the show here. So let's go around and I ask, do you have any final words for 2020 and thoughts going into 2021? Kareem, let's start with you.
Okay. So before I do that, today would have been my father's 75th birthday. And I did what he would have did today, which was I went to work.
Right.
And part of the time I was working, I was complaining because I was out in fucking Sutter Creek, out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you were.
And the driver had told me to go a certain way, and it didn't work out the way he told me. But I think it worked out the way my father wanted it to work out. Because on my last 2 stops, I got to see the sunset.
Nice.
And seeing the sunset up there is totally different from seeing the sunset down here. And you look on my Instagram page, you'll be able to see the pictures that I took. But just being able to be up there and seeing the sunset and to see the moon, and it's a full moon tonight as well. It was a reminder. I think it was his way of reminding me to take some time to watch the sunset. And even those things may not, and this will be coming out of 2020, going into 21, even though things have been a little rocky and they haven't gone the way you necessarily plan, things will be brighter or look better in 2021.
Okay. Jason?
Can you hear it in the background? You hear it, baby?
We did before, and she was up in with you.
Yeah. That's my 2020, bro. Goodbye. No, I hope that in 10 years I'm looking back at this and like the same way that I look back now 10 years ago at my knee injury and like, man, shit was crazy. That shit was nuts, man. That year was crazy and it sucked. But that being said, I feel that I've grown as a husband, as a father. So the thing, despite of all the negativity and bad things that might have happened this year, to think about what you've learned and what you have done, and what strides you've made in other areas and facets of your life. And also just to, like, if you survived it and you're still here and you still have a roof over your head, you fucking survived this year, bro. This is one for the books.
Right? It's been a hell of a year. But yeah. We talked about a little bit at the top of the show. It was about a year ago that there were a lot of people talking about 2019 sucked and 2020 is going to be way better. It's going to be way better. I think we need to sort of recalibrate our perspective on things and just take every moment for kind of what it is and try and find the good in it. I mean, there's good and bad in everybody's life. And, you know, for a lot of people, especially when you're talking social media and what you see of people, you're only seeing what they want you to see. And some people open themselves up bare and tell you way more than they should. And other people, man, it's nothing but sunshine and lollipops and rainbows, and isn't life great? And we all know that that's not, in fact, the case. There's a whole plethora of emotions and everything else that goes along with it. And I think we just need to remember that as we're going through our daily lives, whether it's 2020 or 2021, and just say, man, let's find the good in what's going on right now and deal with it and move forward, and, you know, look forward to how we can take a positive attitude forward and just make every day the best we can. And when we have a bad day, we deal with it and move forward. But man, we can't fall into this fucking trap again where we go, fucking 2020 was bullshit. 2020 was this. 2021 is going to be way better. And then it's not, for whatever reason. You know, who knows what it might be? I mean, at this point last year, could you have predicted a huge pandemic? Could you have predicted what happened with the presidential election? Could you have predicted 300,000 Americans would die from a fucking disease you'd never heard of? 300,000. Son of a bitch, man. 1 in 1,000 Americans have died from this.
Listen, bro, that's your news. That's your fact.
That was freaking crazy.
I don't know. Maybe you should look into how 5G is affecting all this, bro, and all the people eating babies. Those are the real deaths.
It's true.
Yes. 3 million at a time.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, I mean, I can't argue with that. Because it's nuts. Sadly, though, not making that up. That's the worst part. Jason, not making that up. There's plenty of people who feel that way. All right, let's do our final 2020
Let's leave the hustle and bustle for small town news.
Now, it's not a happy small town news story. I must warn you. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes these are happy stories. Sometimes they are sad stories. But as always, there are stories that garner coverage in a small town. And here is the headline from the Newport Dispatch in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. Headline, cow dies after being hit by truck in Irisburg. Dateline Irisburg, a truck hit a cow that wandered onto the road in Irisburg on Wednesday. Authorities were notified of the incident on Vermont Route 14 around 5 p.m. Jeffrey Shatney told police that he was traveling south and struck an all-black cow that was in the travel portion of the road. The cow was killed as a result of the collision. Visibility was limited at the time of the crash due to wind and falling snow, police say. Shatney was driving a Peterbilt truck that sustained front-end damage during the crash.
Oh, not the Peterbilt.
The Peterbilt means there were no steaks. It was merely hamburger. But tenderized. It's not funny. And of course, at the end of every story, it says, "Are you on Instagram? Cool, so are we." You just told me about a cow getting obliterated by a semi. Hey, you on Instagram? Cool.
Clicks would go up, bro. Clicks would go up.
Click here to follow us for a behind-the-scenes look at Newport Dispatch.
Oh, man. You know, it's funny. I could have taken a picture of my dinner tonight to show you what happened to the rest of that cow. It's so funny. Like it's just so ridiculous. It's small town, right? I mean,
it doesn't get much smaller than Irisburg, Vermont.
And a cow like getting. It's just so ridiculous. I mean, how much steak and meat do people eat every single day?
Look, man, it's still a tragic way for the cow to go.
It is. You're right.
It's unfortunate.
It is sad about that, I guess.
That it happened that way. I'm actually I mean, the good news is it was a big truck that hit the cow, and not some poor bugger in their '98 Geo Metro, because then the cow would have gone right through the windshield and killed them. So
yeah, I mean, and the cow might have died instantly if it was a Peterbilt. Those trucks have some force.
Dude, I got past on 40 in Texas by Peterbilt, and I was doing 85.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
And they passed me. Look, he passed me like I was standing still, and I was like, "I'm doing fucking 85. Where the fuck is he going?"
Yeah. I enjoy the clearing up that the cow was in the travel portion of the road. So it was good that he didn't weave out onto the shoulder to hit the cow.
Yeah. And he did what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to turn away. You're supposed to hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
hit it and quit it.
Hit it and then quit it. I am a little suspect, though. I mean, it was snowing, so it was white on the ground and around, and the cow was black.
It was, and I will tell you, I know pretty much exactly within a half mile exactly where that happened, and there's no street lights there, dude. It's dark as shit.
And then Farmer McDonald never fixes his fence, right? It's always broken.
Here's what I'll tell you: in December, you shouldn't be having your cattle outside.
Yeah,
that's on you, pal. That's on you. If your cow's out in the road. By the way, if that is actually on you if your cow gets out in the road, just for the record. There's no mistaking that. It's completely and totally on you. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the WTH podcast and this year of the WTH podcast. Thank you, everybody, for downloading and listening, for watching us live. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We do appreciate each and every one of you taking time out of your busy day and lives to enjoy the show or hate listen, whatever you do. If you're in India, Kareem wants to know about your garage.
Yes, I am curious.
I mean, it could just be a California thing. Like it's a like it really like we don't use our garages in California. It's a storage place. It's a workout area. It's a room for when your family comes and visits for a couple of weeks. I mean, I think it's a California thing. Somewhat. I mean, take it as well, but probably happens more often here than it does other places.
Yeah, especially the part of California where it doesn't snow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say this about what I've seen. So I've seen it used as all of those things. I've seen it used as a workout area. I've seen it used as a man cave. This is the first time I've seen it used as a kitchen and a bedroom, amongst other things. So I'm just curious.
Maybe they're renting it. Maybe that's their renter.
Yeah, there's no shade or anything. I just want to know.
So we will put everybody's Twitter handle in the episode notes. So check that out if you want to respond to Kareem or myself, and you can respond to Jason too if you like. But you're not going to hear anything.
Listen, in the new year, I'm going to be more active on Twitter.
In the new year, Jason's going to take all the time it takes to download Twitter onto his Note.
Yes. And me and Nate will still be messaging each other on Twitter.
That's right.
Yeah, but then you get happy faces or fire emojis from me, you know.
There you go. I mean, that's how we cattle that. Hey.
Hey, on the first, what happens on the 1st of January? Is it
what happens?
The new season of Letterkenny? Isn't it come out on the 1st?
No, that's actually out now. It dropped on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grandpa. It came out on the 26th.
Even I knew that, right?
Something's coming out on the 1st that I was excited about.
It dropped in Canada on Christmas Day, and it dropped the next day here in the States. So Letterkenny is out. We're rewatching it from the beginning because we don't want to miss anything.
It's a lot of seasons.
When I turned on Hulu the day after Christmas, it was there.
Yeah,
it was like in the suggestion.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
There must have been. I haven't loaded up Hulu for a couple of days, so that's probably why.
Yep, I did not mention it on the show because I didn't want to be accused of just pushing stuff that I like. But
no.
New season of Letterkenny out now on Hulu. The seasons are 6 or 7 episodes long, so it's like we're gonna start from the beginning. They're 6 or 7 episodes and they're 22 minutes each, so you can get through them pretty quick. All right, well that's gonna do it for us. I just want to add another note for Darling New Media. We will be in January and we're moving to our new location in Midtown Sacramento. We're very excited about that. Don't have an exact date yet, but we do have keys to the new facilities, and we'll be getting the move on as soon as we get the move on. And if we get Sacramento out of the purple, then we will get Kareem back into the studios with me so that we can do shows in the same room. Jason will still be at home.
Yes. Until I get the vaccine, baby.
Yep. We'll see. People getting the vaccine right and left. So very excited. Oh, also in January, I've got a colonoscopy coming up. So
dope. Can't wait to hear. Can't wait to see the pictures.
Yeah, I'm sleeping through it.
No, I know, but just make sure you get the pictures. Share them.
I'm sleeping just like the last one I had, sleeping right through it. That's all we're going to do.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Yep. That's all there is to it. All right, everybody, be good. Have a great new year, and we will see you in 2021. Bye-bye, everybody. Let me get over here so we can play the proper outro here, because that is important. Who is it important to? Well, it is important to me.
Darling New Media, here to help you tell your story.